Okay.
Did you have confirmation back then?
What?
Confirmation?
Yes.
Yes. I was confirmed German, though.
Sure. Yeah.
In German.
German.
In German.
So now, when was confirmation? Was it on a Saturday, or when was catechism instruction?
That was on Saturday.
That was on Saturday. 3 hours in the morning?
Oh, I would say 2 hours.
2 hours. From like 9 to 11, or
Yeah.
after milking and before lunch?
Yeah.
Who was the minister that did your confirmation? Do you remember?
Ernst Holder.
Ernst Holder. His picture's hanging up?
It'll be up there, yeah.
Yeah.
One thing good about going to instructions, they let me take the Model T truck. I could drive it that time.
Now that's
You-
a good one, yeah.
You got to take the truck to confirmation class?
Yeah, it was Model T, they cut off the back.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, truck.
If you had a chance to say something to all of the people at St. Peter's today, or pretend it was Wabaka, that doesn't make any difference. What would you say? They're celebrating 140 years. You've been there for way more than half of that. What would you say? What's your message?
See, some of the congregation, which I didn't when I came back from service. I thank the minister, people in the congregation for supporting me. And I guess that will be about it.
As a soldier,
Yes.
thank you for supporting me.
All right. And when I was discharged.
And when you're discharged. Wonderful. How long have you been here? How long have you been a part of St. Peter's?
It'll be 45 years at Thanksgiving time.
45 years at Thanksgiving time. Is that when you moved here or something?
Yeah.
From?
We came from Sheboygan Falls,
Okay.
and Reverend Totsky was still the minister.
Toski.
Yeah. And I think I remember most that the day after we moved in, he came up to the front door with an apple cake
To visit.
to visit.
Yes.
And he was looking for customers for church. And we had
What kinds of things did you do here at the church?
me? I didn't do as much as I should have.
Well, I don't want to hear that. Just tell me what you did. What you did was obviously very important.
For a while, I did some, I guess you'd call it treasure work, wrote out the checks.
Okay.
For a while, until they come out with these computers and everything.
Yes.
And I belonged to a women's club, you know.
Okay.
When my kids were gone, really, not till after they were gone, I was involved with 4-H before that, and that was the same night as the women's club.
Oh yeah, and kids take a lot of time.
Yeah, so
Pretend that you are talking to this church somewhere in the future, 25 years from now at the next anniversary or whatever it is. What would you say to the people of the future?
well, when I came here, this church was mostly farmers. I mean, you know, at least the backbone of it was farmers.
Uh-huh.
And now I could think of one family,
Okay. That are still farming?
the Dollard family, yeah.
Okay.
But it was the backbone of the church, and they were the ones that really supported the church,
Yeah.
I felt, you know. And it's changed so much.
Good German farmers.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
good
yeah.
German farmers, yeah, good German farmers.
Yeah.
We were small children. We lived right next door.
To the church.
Right. And Mother and Dad, they belonged to the church. And that's how we all followed in.
Okay.
And of course, like Dick and Butch, they're both Catholics. He had married a Catholic girl. And that's one,
Are these your sons?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that was one promise my dad made. He asked me to state my religion.
Okay. What kinds of things, what different roles have you filled at the church?
What role?
Yeah,
Well, the
church council, you know,
I was
anything?
only interested in when the church went in debt, and then our men's club.
Okay,
I brought up an idea of let's collect all hot water heaters and stuff like that. And I spoke to Mark Bickman, and he had an old gravel pit out there.
okay,
And he said we could use that. So we were hauling them with my pickup first, but then we were only coming home with $10, $11 because there was enough weight on there, you know, to make some money. And so we used Mark's truck. And then after a while, I went up to Mark. I said, Mark, we're just wrecking your truck because I was fixing the sides all the time, you know, puncturing holes in with the
Right.
steel. And so then I went up to Lynn's, up there by the West Bend junkyard, and I asked him what he would charge me that I was doing this for our church, you know. And the checks would be made right out to the church, United Church of Christ.
okay.
And it's all charity. I said, well, we're charging for a dumpster. But he says, Artie, as long as you're doing it for your church and you're not gaining nothing by it, I give you the dumpster for nothing.
Oh,
So
good.
there we saved a heck of a lot of money there, you know.
And it sounds like this was collecting scrap metal.
It was just scrap metal, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this was,
Pretty good. What do we give it now? 69,000, I guess?
We're getting up there, yeah. You guys, yeah.
69,000 since we started.
it's still going?
Oh, yes, we're still going, yeah. I
And,
don't get
but
out.
I'd like to hear one of the biggest events you can remember, something that was just made a fixed memory for whatever reasons about life in the church.
Well, one thing, we got a wonderful church there. Since it's been remodeled and everything, and a wonderful minister. We couldn't beat the minister we got.
You know, I hear that every time I go and talk with someone.
Yeah. But it's the truth.
Yes, it is.
We're so thankful for God that we got him. We got him there.
Yeah.
I pray many times to keep him too.
What is your message to the church as it continues to go on from this point?
I just hope it keeps going the way we're doing it right now. You know, that's what I hope. And I don't see why it shouldn't. The congregation is growing lately, and a bit more. And I just can't say anything bad about it. Everything is good. Everything is good. Yeah, and when you come there, I really enjoy it with all the people that come up to me. You know, they know I'm here and
Yeah.
I'm for health or anything.
Yeah.
You know, everybody shaking hands with you, and everybody just with brother and sister. You know.
A good community. Tell me first, when you first got involved with St. Peter's, when it was, how you found it, how you began to attend there.
Our daughter was a member of the church before we were,
Okay,
and we belonged to Pilgrim Church, and we didn't like some of the goings on there, and created us to start looking, and so we joined St. Peter's,
okay.
which we liked real well, and
When did you start at St. Peter's?
1976,
76,
I think
okay.
in September, if I'm not mistaken.
And then a council member very shortly after?
Yes,
And not too long after that, you served as the president. When was that?
well, 92, I think, was my last year.
Okay,
And so it started 6 years before that, so it's been about 86, something like that.
okay.
And then also at that time I was president of the Brotherhood.
You were
Okay.
involved with the building of the new sanctuary, new addition.
Did most of the building on the balcony.
On the balcony,
There
By
was,
himself.
hands-on.
well, I didn't do it by myself. I had
What?
a lot of helpers when I needed help. Somebody'd come. I worked with the architect and he drew up the plans, and between the two of us, we decided what we wanted there.
Okay.
That's how those windows come apart.
Oh, good, very good.
Danny Pop
Yeah,
helped me a lot with that, because a lot of the stuff we made, all the trim is made by Dan. And I
oh,
helped
yes,
varnish it and stuff. We worked really well together.
yeah.
And he bought just rough lumber and started from that.
Yeah, he's pretty good. 76 to 08, 32 years time. What's one of the biggest memories that you have?
Too many.
Well, pick a couple.
Can I pick one?
Sure.
I think the most outstanding for me was when we were married 50 years in 1999, we had Pastor Jornby renew our vows. And the whole church was involved, and it just chokes me up now to talk about it. We had the choir sing our favorite song,
Which was?
Always.
Okay.
We had our family all involved, and we stood up there on that altar and renewed our vows. And I think every time I come into that building, I think this was just like starting all over again, and just between the people that are closest to you, you know, family, friends, and it was just an awesome day for me.
In 99.
Probably the biggest thing would be making the stained glass windows.
Making the windows.
3.5 years on that.
3.5 years getting the stained glass windows.
And Aaron Holland is the one that did all the designing and
The little circles.
the circles. He painted all those circles. So between the two of us, we worked a lot of hours on it.
Yeah. Very good.
And I think that he is just such a talented person, and we saw him go from, well, when we met him probably when he was 9, 10 years old, and we saw him grow, you know, in the church, and he was always very close to us, or I should say dear to us, because he was a good kid.
Who was his name? What was his name?
Aaron Holland, he's the one who did the big picture in the fireside room.
Okay.
Yeah. And he still is very dear to us. He
Is he still around?
He lives in
Dark County.
Oh.
He's got a studio up there.
married, has a
Oh.
baby.
Lucille, I didn't give you a chance to talk about the things that you have done at the church during those 30 years.
Well, first
Besides getting married again.
okay. I would just like to say that a very, very close friend of mine, and she will forever be, Irene Pop, and I did coffee hour for about 9 years in the basement downstairs. And we would have, you wouldn't believe the groups of people we had come. Kids, we made Kool-Aid, that was a drink, Kool-Aid, and we always had cake. Somebody always had a cake for some occasion, air conditioner.
Yeah.
A cake for some occasion, we would cut it and serve it. She was just the dearest person to work for, and then there was a cleanup, and that was one of my things. And then of course I think I was, we called it guild then, we didn't call it circle. I was president of that for about 2 years. And then I was also very, very involved in the 3 cookbooks we have. I helped correlate the first, second, and third cookbooks.
You've seen a lot of changes, 32 years time. I'm going to ask you a 2-part question. I'm going to ask you a 1-part question, then I'm going to, just talk about some of the changes from where the church was in 76 until 2008.
6, including the interns and stuff, pastors that we went through in that period of time.
Okay.
And some didn't always work out real good, other ones worked out real well, and we could see start to move forward. We were getting more younger people coming in, so they were starting to grab a hold, and that helped change things too. Of course, in them days, early days, like early 70s, we didn't make the wages that they're making now, so it was a struggle to
Sure.
stay ahead, and we maybe weren't as mission-minded as people are now, and so that's quite a change there from what we used to give the mission and what to give them now.
Question that way leads to this one. The mark is 140 years. What's your message to the church as it continues to move on?
Well, I think things are doing real good right now. Attendance could probably be a little better, but summer it is usually less anyhow than during the winter.
Sure.
Once you get the kids back in Sunday school.
Lucille, you're brimming to say something.
Sure.
See it?
Well, let me sort this out. I just feel that St. Peter's has such a welcoming attitude when people come into church. Sometimes.
I want you to start with telling me when you first came to Saukville, like you were talking before. And first, when